Hi guys, in this video, let me explain to you on how to easily recognize the equations of the four conic sections, which are the circle, ellipse, hyperbola, and parabola using this graphing calculator. Now if you see an equation which has two variables, we have x and y, and these two variables are squared and they have the same signs and the same numerical coefficients, then that kind of equation will form a circle. So its graph, the graph of this equation will form a circle on the Cartesian coordinate system, just like in the given example. 2x squared plus 2y squared is equal to 4. So as what you can see, they have two variables x and y. Both variables x and y are being squared and they are both positive, and they also have the same numerical coefficients, which is 2. So this kind of graph will form a circle. However, if the equation has two variables x and y, the variables are both squared, just like in this given example, and they are both positive. However, they have different numerical coefficients. So the only difference of this equation and this second equation from the first equation is that the first equation has the same numerical coefficients, while on the second equation it has different numerical coefficients. So if that is the case, this kind of equation, the second equation, will form an ellipse on the Cartesian coordinate system. So this graph is an example of an ellipse. Again, a particular equation will create an ellipse in the coordinate system, Cartesian coordinate system, if the two variables x and y are both squared, they are both positive, but they have different numerical coefficients. Now for the third one, we have here the hyperbola. So if the equation has variables x and y, both are squared and they have different signs, so this kind of equation will create a hyperbola on the Cartesian coordinate system. So as what you can see, this kind of equation has two variables x and y, both are squared, they have the same numerical coefficients, but they have different signs. So we could also have different numerical coefficients. For example, 3x squared minus 2y squared is equal to 4. So that will still create a hyperbola. So the only thing that you have to consider is that if the variables x and y are both squared and their signs are different, so that kind of equation will create a hyperbola on the Cartesian coordinate system. And lastly, if a particular equation has variables x and y, however, it's either one of the two variables is being squared. So for instance, for this example, we have here 2x squared plus y is equal to 4. So in this example, x is being squared. So it's only the variable x that is being squared. They are both positive and they have different numerical coefficients. But we could also have that the numerical coefficients are the same. So for instance, let's take this one first. 2x squared plus y is equal to 4. So this will create a parabola. If their numerical coefficients are the same, just like this, that will still create a parabola. So the only thing that you have to remember is that when either one of the variables is being squared, so that will create a parabola. Same as this one. So just for the second example, our equation, the variable y is being squared instead of x. So again, if the numerical coefficients are the same and the variables x and y are both squared, so and are both positive, so that will create a circle. And if their numerical coefficients are different, so that will create an ellipse or will form an ellipse. If the signs are different, so that will create a hyperbola. And if either one of the variables is being squared, so that will create a parabola. So that's just it. That is just how to easily recognize the differences among the equations of the four conic sections. That's all for now. Thank you, more power, and let's keep learning.